In this video, we're going to be discussing the back judge. The back judge is this guy right back here. And as his name implies, he's the back. So he's really the end of our officiating realm of responsibility. So he's always got to be back. He's there in the back. He's counting defense. We'll get into some more. But the back judge is a really important member of the crew. What he's got that's kind of strange is he's got the most running to do. He's probably the most important guy on the field in terms of getting in, breaking up plays, players from other teams, all that type of stuff after plays, before the plays, getting the ball situated. He's really a facilitator for the rest of the crew to kind of take a lot of the stuff that, you know, they're running around to get the ball back and forth, all that he really takes care of. So by that, the back judge is really a guy who moves around a lot. Back judges can run in excess of 4 miles in a varsity game. So the back judge is the guy in the back. You can see right here. The key to the back judge is staying back, trying not to get beat ever. Don't let players behind you. Because like I said, you're the end of our officiating sphere of responsibilities back there. So if we were to look on this play, get your back judge back there, and you can see right here, there we go. His first steps are always backwards. You hear that multiple times during this video, but that's one of the most important things about the back judge is that you stay back. As the back judge, pregame, you really have one main role. You're going to be the policeman of this buffer zone in the middle of the field. So what we have before the game is we really have 2 zones broken up. We have on each 45-yard line. So this zone right here is really a no-go area for either team. So you'll have one team lining up over here, one team lining up over here. There really is no tried room reason, like you'd always put a team over here and the visitor team over here. There's no team rule either way. It's really whoever comes out first will pick their side. There's no real rhyme or reason as to who gets it. But as a back judge, you're to kind of patrol this area here, kind of standing on the 50, observing the players. If a ball, let's say, a ball trickles out over here, run over there, get it for the players, just make sure you don't have anything going on between the 2 teams that's untowards before the game. So we're looking here at the back judge, this guy right here. Now, like his name says, in the back, he's the end of where our coverage responsibility back here. So remember what we said. He always typically is going to line up about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage, but he's always got to be deeper than this deepest man. So if this guy was back here, let's say he was 40 yards deep, our back judge would be about 5 yards behind him right there. But so that's his view of the game. So now let's take a look at what that's the view of him from behind the line of scrimmage. Let's see what he's looking at. So now we've got a view of what the back judge is looking at. Like we said, he's really before the game. He really is looking at both his wings. The other wing's off the screen here, but he's looking at that guy. So he's got to communicate with both these guys on the 11 on the back. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'd have our fist for both these. We check these guys off. We don't need to leave our fists up once we checked with them. The other thing that the back judge is looking for is he's usually going to be between the hash marks, but he's also going to be no wider than the goal post usually, because the back judge really wants to be centrally located on the field. So he's got there, and then his initial read. His initial read is always going to be back in 2 directions. He's always going to move back no matter what. It's going to move back on the beginning of the play. But then he's also going to look for, on his tight end, he's going to usually look for the tight end. So he's going to be reading this side of the offense to see what happens. So let's say right here we had a running play. And this guy gets the ball and moves over this way and then comes up the field. Right there. So as a back judge, So as a back judge, when you see that, initially on the snap, you'd be moving back. But then as you're reading here in the line, you're seeing we're probably going to have motion over a running play over here. What you'd be doing is you'd be moving, instead of back, you'd be moving more, or well, once you read that running play, instead of moving straight back, you're going to start moving over this way. And when you start moving over this way, you have to read the play. So if you see he's going to break downfield for a long run, you start moving downfield that way. But if you see there's a bunch of guys around him and it looks like he's going to be tackled, you start kind of looping around so you're getting close to the end of the play there to collect what's going on at the end of the play. Additionally, the back judge has one of the most important reads, talking about keys on the line street. He's the initial guy who everyone keys off of what his initial read is going to be. Now, we'll have a video that goes into reads more specifically, so we're just going to kind of skip over the keys right now. But know that his read will tell him which side of the field he's going to be looking at to get an initial read of trying what's going on with the play. So his keys are very important. And now let's look at a real-world example of the initial positioning of the back judge. So right here we've got a good view of the back judge before the play. He's already counted his 11 and checked off with both his wing official. You can see the head linesman is over here. The line judge would be over to this side. He's got all the players in front of him. He's lined up between the goalposts. He's offset a little bit from the ball, which is right here. And he's got a full view of the entire play. It's coming in front of him. So let's see what happens here. Checking over with his wings a little bit. Looking at the play. See right here, he's right on the outside of that goalpost right there. Got a good view of this side of the field, and you can look back the other side if that's need be. You see right here's the tight end that he's keying off of. So we'll go through the play. He's got a snap, first steps. You see his first steps, he retreated back. Very important for the back judge. You're always retreating back. You're always retreating back. And now you've got the whole play in front of you. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and with peripheral vision you can see the other receiver out here. There's another guy out here. You can see everything in front of you. So there's a play coming. We've got a running play up the middle. So there's a running play up the middle. Really in that zone we don't need to get to because the umpire can get to the ball, referee can get to the ball. We want to make sure we get in there to mess with to get with the players in case there's any pushing or shoving going on. And we count the down. And we find the referee, so we're ready to look into it. And the ready for play should be coming up. And there it is. And we're ready to do the whole thing all over again. As a back judge, one of the important things is after the play to come up and get the ball and rotate it into the umpire so we can set the ball. But not every time you have to come up with the ball. How I usually like to look at it is if you take and you draw a triangle that goes from the two wing officials and goes to about where the umpire is. So if you have any play that ends in this triangle here or back, so behind the line of scrimmage, you're not going to come up from the ball. If the play ends anywhere else outside of this, let's say the player over the ball is right there, you're going to probably in the course of the play, you're going to loop around and come back and then come here to get the ball and then bring it into the umpire in some way. So that's a good idea of when we do come up and don't come up the ball. So these are the main areas right here. This triangle I think is a good idea of when you shouldn't come up for the ball. Here's a good example of the play coming up inside that triangle. So let's just run this play. As you can see, we have the wide view of the back judge here. So we're running play. We have backing up. It's a running play right into the middle. There's no reason for the back judge to come up because the umpire is already there, so we don't come up. We just need to work for the next play.